What's up, you guys? This is the chapter on autosuggestion. It's a form of prayer, if you will, and it's suggested to be done every night. So there you go. Autosuggestion, the medium for influencing the subconscious mind, the third step towards riches. Autosuggestion is a term which applies to all suggestions and all self-administered stimuli, which reaches one's mind through the five senses. Stated in another way, autosuggestion is self-suggestion. It is the agency of communication between that part of the mind where the conscious thought takes place and that which serves as the seat for action for the subconscious mind. Though the dominating thoughts which one permits to remain in the conscious mind, whether these thoughts be negative or positive, is immaterial, meaning it doesn't matter. The principle of autosuggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influences it with these thoughts. No thought, whether it be negative or positive, can enter the subconscious mind without the aid of the principle of autosuggestion. With the exception picked up from the ether, stated differently, all sense impressions which are perceived through the five senses are stopped by the conscious thinking mind and may either be passed on the subconscious mind or rejected at will. The conscious faculty serves therefore as the outer guard to approach the subconscious mind. Nature has so built man that he has absolute control over the material which reaches his subconscious mind through his five senses. Although this is not meant to be construed as a statement that man always exercises this control. In the great majority of instances, he does not exercise it, which explains why so many people go through life in poverty. Recall what has been said about the subconscious mind resembling a fertile garden spot in which weeds will grow in abundance if the seeds of more desirable crops are not sown in. Autosuggestion is the agency of control which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind on thoughts of a creative nature, or by neglect permit thoughts of a destructive nature to find their way into this rich garden of the mind. You were instructed in the last 6 steps described in the chapter on desire to read aloud twice daily the written statement of your desire for money, and see and feel yourself already in the possession of the money. By following these instructions, you communicate the object of your desire directly to your subconscious mind in a spirit of absolute faith through repetition of this procedure. You voluntarily create thought habits which are favorable to your efforts to transmute your desire into its money equivalent. Go back to these steps, to the 6 steps described in chapter 2, and read them again very carefully before you proceed further. First, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire It is not sufficient merely to say, I want plenty of money. Be definite as the amount. There is a psychological reason for definiteness, which will be described in subsequent chapter. Determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire. There is no such a thing as something for nothing. Establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. Create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you are ready or not, to put this plan into action. Fourth, write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisition and state what you intend to give in return for the money, and describe clearly the plan to which you intend to accumulate it. 6. Read the written statement aloud twice daily, once just before retiring at night and once after arising in the morning. As you read and see and feel yourself believing yourself already in possession of the money. Then, when you come to it, read very carefully the 4 instructions for organization of your mastermind group, described in a chapter on organized planning. So, organized planning is here, I think. Okay, here it is. Organized planning. Ally yourself with a group of as many people as you may need for the creation and carrying out of your plan or plans for the accumulation of money, making use of the mastermind principle described in later chapter. Compliance with this instruction is absolutely essential. Do not neglect it. Before forming your mastermind alliance, describe what advantages and benefits you may offer in individual members of your group in return for their cooperation. No one will work indefinitely without some form of compensation. No intelligent person will either request or expect another to work without adequate compensation, although this may not always be in the form of money. Arrange to meet with your mastermind group at least twice a week or more often if possible, until you have jointly perfected the necessary plan or plans for the accumulation of money. Maintain perfect harmony. Maintain perfect harmony. Maintain perfect harmony between yourself and every member of your mastermind group. If you fail to carry out these instructions to the letter, you may expect to meet with failure. The mastermind principle cannot obtain where perfect harmony does not prevail. Keep in fact these points. Keep in mind these facts. First, you are engaged in the undertaking of major importance to you. To be sure of success, you must have plans which are faultless. Second, you must have the advantage of the experience, education, native ability, and imagination of other minds. This is in harmony with the methods followed by every person who accumulated great riches. By comparing these two sets of instructions with that which has been stated on autosuggestion, you, of course, would see that the instructions involve the application of the principle of autosuggestion. Remember, therefore, when reading out loud the statement of your desire through which you are endeavoring to develop a money consciousness, that the mere reading of words is of no consequence and lets you mix emotions or feeling with your words. If you repeat 1,000,000 times the famous Emile Coué formula, day by day, in every way, I'm getting better and better, without mixing emotions and faith with your words, you will experience no desirable result. Your subconscious mind recognizes the acts upon only thoughts which have been well mixed with emotion or feeling. This is a fact of such importance as to warrant repetition in practically every chapter, because the lack of understanding of this is the main reason the majority of people who try to apply the principle of autosuggestion get no desirable results. Plain and emotional words do not influence the subconscious mind. You will get no appreciable results until you learn to reach your subconscious mind with thoughts or spoken words which have been well emotionalized with belief. Do not become discouraged if you cannot control and direct your emotions. The first time you try to do so. Remember, there's no such possibility as something for nothing. The ability to reach and influence your subconscious mind has its price, and you must pay that price. You cannot cheat even if you desire to do so. The price of the ability to influence your subconscious mind is everlasting persistence in applying the principle described here. You cannot develop the desired ability for a lower price. You and you alone must decide whether or not the reward for which you are striving, which is the money consciousness, is worth the price you must pay in effort. Wisdom and cleverness alone will not attract and retain money, except in a very few instances where the law of averages favors the attraction of money through these sources. The method of attracting money described here does not depend upon the law of averages. Moreover, the method plays no favor. It will work for one person as effectively as it will work for another. Whether failure is experienced, it is the individual, not the method, which has failed. If you try and fail, make another effort and still another until you succeed. Your ability to use the principle of autosuggestion will depend very largely upon your capacity to concentrate upon a given desire until that desire becomes a burning obsession. When you begin to carry out this instruction in connection with the 6 steps described in the 2nd chapter, it will be necessary for you to make use of the principle of concentration. Let us here offer suggestion of the effective use of concentration. When you begin to carry out the first out of the 6 steps, which instructs you to fix in your own mind the exact amount of money you desire, hold your thoughts on the amount of money by concentration or fixation of attention, which with your eyes closed until you can actually see the physical appearance of money. Do this at least once each day. As you go through these exercises, follow the instructions given in the chapter on faith and see yourself actually in possession of the money. Here is the most significant fact: the subconscious mind takes any order given in the spirit of absolute faith and acts upon those orders. Although the orders often have to be presented over and over again through repetition before they are interpreted by the subconscious mind. Following the preceding statement, consider the possibility of playing a perfect legitimate trick on your subconscious mind by making it believe, because you believe it, that you must have the amount of money you are visualizing. That is, money is already awaiting your claim, and that the subconscious mind must hand over to you practical plans for acquiring the money which is yours. Hand over the thoughts suggested in the preceding paragraph to your imagination and see what your imagination can do and will do to create practical plans for the accumulation of money through transmutation of your desire. Do not wait for a definite plan to which do not wait for a definite plan to which your do not wait for a definite plan to which you intend to exchange services or merchandise in return for the money you are visualizing. But begin at once to see yourself in possession of the money, demanding and expecting, meanwhile, that your subconscious mind will hand over the plan or plans you need. Be on the alert for the plans, and when they appear, put them into action immediately. When the plans appear, they will probably appear in a flash into your mind through the 6th sense in the form of an inspiration. This inspiration may be considered a direct telegram or message from infinite intelligence. Treat it with respect and act upon it as soon as you receive it. Failure to do this will be fatal to your success. In the fourth and sixth step, you are instructed to create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once to put that plan into action. You should follow the instructions in the manner described in the preceding paragraph. Do not trust your own reason when creating plans for the accumulation of money through transmutation of desire. Your reason is faulty. Moreover, your reasoning faculty may be lazy, and if you depend entirely upon it to serve you, it may disappoint you. When visualizing with closed eyes the amount of money you intend to accumulate, see yourself rendering the service or delivering the merchandise you intend to give in return for the money. For this money, this is important. Summary of instructions. The fact that you're reading this book is an indication that you earnestly seek knowledge. It is also an indication that you are a student of the subject. If you are only a student, there's a chance that you may learn much that you did not know. But you will learn only by assuming an attitude of humility. Do not choose to follow some instructions but neglect or refuse to follow others. You will fail. To get satisfactory results, you must follow all instructions in a spirit of faith. The instructions given in connection with the 6 steps in the second chapter will now be summarized and blended in the principles covered by this chapter as follows. First, go into some quiet spot, preferably in bed at night, where you will not be disturbed or interrupted. Close your eyes and repeat out loud so you may hear your own words the written statement of the amount of money you intend to accumulate, the time limit for its accumulation, and a description of the service or merchandise you intend to give in return for the money. As you carry out these instructions, see yourself already in possession of the money. For example, suppose that you intend to accumulate $50,000 by the 1st of January, 5 years in the future. That you intend to give personal services in return for the money in the capacity of a salesman. Your written statement of your purpose should be similar to the following. By January 19, I will have in my possession $50,000, which will come to me in various forms, in various amounts, from time to time during the interim. In return for this money, I will give the most efficient service of which I am capable, rendering the fullest possible quantity and the best possible quality of service in the capacity of a salesman of blah blah blah. Describe the service or merchandise you intend to sell. And then you say, I believe that I will have this money in my possession. My faith is so strong that I can now see this money before my eyes. I can touch it with my hands, and it is now awaiting transfer to me at the time and the proportion that I deliver the service I intend to render in return for it. I'm awaiting a plan by which to accumulate this money, and I will follow that plan when it is received. Second, repeat this program night and morning until you can see in your imagination the money you intend to accumulate. Third, place a written copy of your statement where you can see it at night and morning, and read it just before retiring and upon arising until it has been memorized. Remember as you carry out these instructions that you are applying the principle of autosuggestion for the purpose of giving orders to your subconscious mind. Remember also that your subconscious mind will act only upon instructions which are emotionalized and handed over to it with feeling. Faith is the strongest, most productive of the emotions. Follow the instructions given in the chapter on faith. These instructions may at first seem abstract. Do not let this disturb you. Follow the instructions. No matter how abstract or impractical they might at first appear to be. The time will soon come if you do as you've been instructed, in spirit as well as in act, when the whole new universe of power will unfold to you. Skepticism in connection with all new ideas is a characteristic of all human beings. But if you follow the instructions outlined, your skepticism will soon be replaced by belief, and this in turn will soon become crystallized into absolute faith. Then you will have arrived at the point where you may truly say, I am the master of my faith, I am the captain of my soul. My philosophers have made the statement that man is the master of his own earthly destiny. But most of them have failed to say why he's the master. The reason that man may be the master of his own earth status, and especially his financial status, is thoroughly explained in this chapter. Man may become the master of himself and of his environment because he has the power to influence his own subconscious mind, and through it gain the cooperation of infinite intelligence. You are now reading the chapter which represents the keystone of the arch of this philosophy. The instructions contained in this chapter must be understood and applied with persistence if you are to succeed in transmutating desire into money. The actual performance of transmutating desire into money involves the use of autosuggestion as an agency by which one may reach and influence the subconscious mind. The other principles The other principles are simply tools with which to apply autosuggestion. Keep this thought in mind, and you will at all times be conscious of the important part of the principle of autosuggestion is to play in your effort to accumulate money through methods described in this book. Carry out these instructions though you were a small child. Inject into your effort something of the faith of the child, as the author has been most careful to see that no impractical instructions were included. Before, because of his sincere desire to be helpful. After you have read the entire book, come back to this chapter and follow in spirit and in action this instruction. Read the entire chapter out loud once every night until you become thoroughly convinced that the principle of autosuggestion is sound and that it will accomplish for you all that has been claimed for it. As you read it, underscore with a pencil every sentence which impress you favorably. Follow the foregoing instruction to the letter, and it will open the way for a complete understanding and mastery of the principles of success. So yeah, there you have it, guys. 31 minutes. I thought it'd be 30 minutes, but hey, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, this is it, you know. And now I'm about to read my actual prayer. So yeah, this is actually private. Ha ha ha. But have a good night. You know, it's nighttime. I'm about to go to sleep. But basically, it's just another form of praying. You know what I mean? Praying before you go to sleep and praying when you wake up in the morning. You know, this book is explaining what is actually going on with your subconscious mind and how to program it, you know, to attract the kind of lifestyle that you desire. Because remember, the intangible forces, you know, forces that we can't really see, the powers that be, are actually stronger than anything that we can do with individually. So keep that in mind.